All right, so we're here with Mike Luna. Mike's running for re-election to the City Council from Ward 3. Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. I'm Brian Martin. I'm the managing editor here at the Wyoming Tribune Eagle. We've got a couple of our community reps with the board with us today.
Sharon Fain with Black Hills Energy.
Hi, Sharon.
Bob Feck, Cheyenne Animal Shelter.
Hi, Bob.
So again, thanks for agreeing to come and visit with us, Mike.
You bet.
Good to have you here. What specific issues or concerns caused you to run for re-election to the council?
There's a lot of things that you can't do a whole bunch in 4 years, and there's a lot of things I would like to see get done in the next 4 years. Hopefully, more businesses downtown, mostly revitalization of downtown. Excuse me, and I'd like to see more of the county pockets closed up in Ward 3. We've done quite a few this in the last 4 years, and just like to see the city grow more and in the right direction.
What qualifications do you bring to the table that make you a good city council member in your mind?
Well, I'm a common sense guy. I've been on the council, of course, for 3.5 years now, and I feel that I've learned a lot. It's a learning experience. I've learned a whole bunch, and there's still more left to learn and do. And it's not just one person that makes something happen on the council. It's 8 other people other than that one person also. So I think, and we worked well together. So I think that kind of qualifies me.
Sure. What do you believe is the biggest challenge facing the city of Cheyenne? And then beyond that, whatever you feel is the biggest challenge, can you name 2 or 3 others?
Right now, at this very minute, it's potholes, and we're trying really hard to get that under control. It's a never-ending job. If we can get caught up with that and kind of keep one step ahead of it, that's going to take a lot of work. But if we can keep one step ahead of it, I think we'll be okay. And then I'd like to see the West Edge project get moving more and more and get it finished up. More businesses downtown in the future. Children's Museum is going to be moving downtown hopefully soon. Pretty excited about that. My grandkids are excited about that. And pretty much just helping the city move in the right direction is what I want to do in the next 4 years.
Okay. What do you think the community needs that it doesn't have right now, and how would you, in a second term, go about making that happen?
I would like right now I've heard a lot about what I'm not sure which one to call it, when one company is the only thing going. We need more competition in this city, like with the cable company, with the power company, with with the power company we do have somewhat of a competitive thing there with High West Energy being able to do some business in Cheyenne. I think that's what I would like to see happen in the next 4 years is maybe bring something forward where we can move another cable company in here, and so people can have a choice.
How would the city council go about doing that? Is that an ordinance change? Is something?
I'm not real sure. I'm going to look into that because of so many problems we've been having with our cable company and so many complaints and stuff. And I am going to look into that. I'm not sure how to go about it. I hear there's some legal issues and stuff, and maybe franchise issues, but I'm going to look into that.
Are there other amenities or things that you think that Cheyenne needs that it doesn't have?
I would like to see more things for kids. I would like to see more parks, more activities for kids, younger people, not just kids, younger people. Like to see the Belvoir Ranch open up so they can make the hiking paths. And we got a couple council people that are kind of hitting that, and really happy with that. I support that a lot. And just things to do for the younger crowd, I guess. Not just go out on Friday nights drinking and partying, and which is okay for some people, but I would like to see more constructive things for the younger crowd.
Mike, Brian's going to ask you a couple of questions about the sixth penny sales tax. I'm going to kind of jump in early on one of them, because
Okay.
you mentioned the Belvoir, and there's a possibility that one of those other council members is going to ask for sixth penny money for the Belvoir. But there's a lot of need on that sixth penny. So what do you think about that?
I wouldn't, at this time, I wouldn't support it being on the six penny, just like I probably wouldn't support the Children's Museum being on the six penny. The taxpayers already paid for the Belvoir Ranch, and I think they need to figure out, we need to figure out another way, and I'm not sure what that way is, to make grants or something, money to, so we can put them paths and stuff in. I don't think it needs to go on the six penny though.
You mentioned some economic development. What are your priorities for economic development for Cheyenne going forward?
I would like to fill up some of our empty buildings, not abandoned, not vacant, but empty buildings. I would like to get a grocery store on the west end of town, even not being my ward. I'd like to see that, because I get a lot of calls, believe it or not, on, hey, why don't we have a grocery store on the west side of town? And kind of spread it out a little bit for everybody, so they're not having to drive all over the place. And it was good to see, we got the new Walmart on the southeast side of town, and we're really growing out that way. And I would like to see more bigger businesses go out that way, which would bring more jobs.
Can I just follow up on the grocery store? What do you think the city council's role is, and what should it be doing to try to attract that grocery store?
I'm not real sure that the city council has a role in it. I would say maybe the Leeds or Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce might have a role in finding someone that will fit in.
You mentioned the Children's Museum. How do you feel about the use of taxpayer money for the Children's Museum? I think you said you don't support sixth penny. You support a partial seventh penny for that?
No, I don't. I don't support any taxpayer money going towards that. I want to see it built, and I know I'm going to be in trouble for this, but I want to see it built. But when it came to us, when we sold them the property of the whole, that was all supposed to be on donations. And that's the way I'd like to see. I mean, we absolutely need something like that, but if we weren't in such, I'm not gonna say bad shape, but not real stable right now with money wise because of everything that's going on, maybe I would look at it differently, but we just don't have the money to do that. A quarter out of every dollar isn't a whole bunch, but it could go somewhere else to, help something else out.
So you're not opposed to the seventh penny, just not for the Children's Museum? Is that
I'm
what you're-
opposed to the seventh penny.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Like I say, if I'm not opposed to the Children's Museum being on the sixth penny, if we didn't have nothing else for that quarter to go to, in which we have plenty.
So let's go to the sixth penny, because you just said we have plenty of stuff to put on that.
Right.
What are your priorities for that next sixth penny ballot? Because there's plenty.
Yeah. Right now we have two councilmen that are on that committee, and we haven't got a list of what we're putting on that yet. I mean, you know, what they want to put on it. We really haven't got a list of what's going on there at all.
But do you have a priority, just yourself? What would you tell them to put on it?
I would like to see more active. I mean, maybe not a rec center, but something in that area for the kids to do and for the young people to do. I mean, we're growing. And we're getting young people in here, so we need something for them to do besides what I said earlier.
You mentioned the potholes and the road conditions, and the funding is a concern. Is the 6 penny appropriate for some road project?
Well, I don't think so. The 5th penny was made for infrastructure and road work, and I don't know if it's right that we take money out of the 6 penny, being it's used for our wants and needs, I guess, instead of road and infrastructure.
Do you have other ideas of how to make up that funding shortfall for road construction?
I don't, right off the top of my head. I don't. I mean, you know, it's something that's going to come to us and we're going to have to figure it out. But at this time, I don't have an idea on how to do that.
Speaking of the city spending money, what are your budget and savings priorities for the city? And as a member of the council, how do you view that in terms of your own priorities and how the city should be prioritizing what it spends?
Well, this year I'm really proud of the mayor and his staff. They've cut almost $2 million off the budget and no job losses. So if they can just keep in check all their spending habits and you know, not going overboard on things that they'd really, I guess their needs before their wants is basically what they need to do. And I think I would go forward doing that because it seems to be working. We were able to give the city employees a 2.5% raise, which is a plus because we had that study done, and that's, you know, we have to live up to our part of the deal now.
Mike, regarding the pay raise, you can imagine there may be some people in the community saying those that voted for the pay raise are running for re-election. What do you say to people who may have that opinion? You
know, the pay raise thing was a complete surprise to me. I mean, out of the blue, I didn't know that was coming. I would tell them that they deserve a pay raise. A lot of them are probably 90% of them are way below pay scale, and it's time to bring them up to pay scale if we want them to stay here. And we've been having a lot of trouble with people leaving. As you guys know, the planning and development department's a revolving door. So, and there's other places here revolving doors also. So we need to keep that pay up so we can hire the good people or I'm not the good people, good people, and keep them along with our other good people. How's that?
Is that department because of pay raises? Is that the reason they're leaving?
I really think it is, because it seems to me all I've heard was they've left for better jobs. So.
And one follow-up related to that, I know that $312,000 of that money that was spent on the raises was out of reserves. Do you think that was appropriate? Is that a concern going forward?
I don't think it's a concern, because I think we'll build that back up somewhere. I don't know where, but we built it up to that or over that, so we'll build it up somewhere.
Is savings a priority? That was the other part of the budget question. Is savings a priority for you for the?
Yes, it is, because we have to have, and I can't remember right off the top of my head, but we have to have so much in reserve for the city to run for, I think it's 6 months or something like that, if something happened. So yes, it is a priority.
Mike, how do you feel about the possibility of an anti-discrimination ordinance?
You know, to me, that should be at the federal and the state level, not at a city level. There's already ordinances in place that you're not supposed to discriminate against people. I mean, it happens everywhere. And it's almost unsupportable. I mean, you can't, or not unsupportable, almost I can't even think of the word. Enforceable, unenforceable. I mean, it happens all the time. And I don't think us making up another ordinance is going to make it any better. So I think that should stay at the federal or the state level.
Mike, there's some fifth penny money and also some general fund money that goes through the United Way to a series of nonprofits within the community. Do you have thoughts on that?
You know, I think that's great as long as it's staying in our community. I have no problem with that.
Mike, the landfill expansion looks like it's going to go forward at the existing landfill. And the city's had to raise some trash fees in order to cover some of that. Have you supported that? Do you continue to support that? And is that the right direction for the city to be going?
I've never supported it. In fact, not a couple weeks ago, we voted in a increase in the fee, which I've never voted for it, but they voted it in, and another 8%. And when we voted that in, I was under the impression that money, that extra money was going for the landfill expansion and the transfer station to take care of them, do what they needed to do with that. Well, that wasn't the case, I guess, because I asked Ms. Nemechek how much we had in our savings, and she said none, zero. I said, well, what happened? We're supposed to be saving that for the landfill expansion, and so I'm against the landfill expansion because I don't think they're giving us enough information on it. I feel like we're left in the dark on a lot of that. You know, they won't, before the DEQ gave us I just can't think of the words today, the variance. We had no idea where it's at, what was going on with it. We'd ask, and they wouldn't tell us anything, you know, me anyway. I don't know if it's just me, but they wouldn't tell us anything. And then finally, I just heard the other day that we got the variance for that, and now we're waiting on the permits, and landfill permits take forever. So we'll see. But I won't vote for it though.
So you think it's more appropriate for the city to continue doing what it's been doing? Do you support the contract to haul trash to Alt Colorado? Is that a better use of city funds?
My personal opinion, I think it's a better use of hauling our trash somewhere else, but you got to shop around to get the best deal. They didn't do that. They didn't try Fort Collins. They didn't try Torrington. Nobody else. And I know for a fact that one is cheaper than Alt, but I'm not going to say that.
Monday night's meeting, sir, the council, I think, approved on second reading, the annexation of what I would call the Loomis.
Right.
Okay. So we're very slowly, we've got the Swan Ranch, we're moving with the Loomis Ranch, we've got a pipeline down to Love's for sewer. We're pretty soon gonna surround the South Cheyenne Water and Sewer District. Do you have any thoughts on annexing that chunk of property?
Of the Loomis property or
No,
the
the South Cheyenne. Yeah, I mean, after you complete Loomis,
Right,
and then they do the expansion across, because the next logical step will be everything across from LCCC.
right.
We will have encased South Cheyenne Sewer and Water District. I mean, it'll be surrounded by city, or it could be.
It wouldn't be a bad thing. Like I say, the only place we can grow now is to the east and to the south, in my eyes. It's the only open land we got. And I don't, and that would bring in South Cheyenne Sewer and Water into the city, which could help the water department also in taking care of, it's a big area. And maybe do like we did with High West and Black Hills. You can have the new businesses, but I would let them keep their old customers, just like we did with High West. So yes, I would say I would vote for an annexation if it came to that.
You guys have anything else? Micah, do you have any comments, anything you'd like to share with us that we didn't ask you?
No, I just want to thank you for inviting me here today, and they were all good questions. I don't know if I answered them the way I'm just a regular guy. I don't interview very well, we'll put it that way, but I hope I answered them or gave you the answers that you wanted to hear, and I appreciate it once again for having me here.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.